I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch network. Donald Trump and his criminal co-defendant Waltine Nauta just filed a brief before Judge Aileen Cannon, and as predicted, they are asking for a significant delay of the trial in the federal criminal case brought by Special Counsel Jack Smith for willful retention of national defense information, obstruction of justice, making false statements, and conspiracy. Donald Trump and his co-defendant Waltine Nauta are saying that there should, in essence, be an indefinite extension of time. They didn't even provide a date, but they said sometime after the November 2024 election, we should first begin even having a conversation about a trial date. So they're saying that Judge Aileen Cannon should not set any trial date at all. Just eliminate the idea that a trial is going to be anytime soon. And then sometime after the November 2024 election, there can then be some sort of status conference and a conversation, in essence, about when the trial date should be. This does not come as a surprise to me or to MeidasTouch network viewers. This is exactly what we predicted that Donald Trump was going to ask for. And we explained here how Special Counsel Jack Smith had immediately filed his motion for a continuance when Judge Aileen Cannon, pursuant to the Speedy Trial Act, set trial for August of 2023. That was never a real date. Then Special Counsel Jack Smith filed a motion for a continuance to have this case heard in December of 2023, specifically December 12th of 2023, and Jack Smith indicated that Donald Trump and Waltine Nauta's lawyers had stated they were going to oppose that, and so we predicted that they were going to say this case should not be tried anywhere before the November 2024 election. Now this goes before Judge Aileen Cannon, who's going to have to make her first very important ruling, a massive ruling here as to when the trial is going to take place. Donald Trump and Waltine Nauta make 5 major arguments in their motion for a continuance why this case should be indefinitely delayed and why a trial date should not take place before the November 2024 election. First, they argue Donald Trump is running for president and Waltine Nauta is his assistant. They say in the motion, I'm just telling you what the motion says. They say in the motion that that is a very exacting job. There is a lot of time commitments there, and they're not going to be prepared for trial while Donald Trump runs for office, and they say he is the presumptive leader in the Republican primaries. Number 2, they say that Trump has lots of other trials. He's got a trial in a civil case brought by New York Attorney General Letitia James set for October of 2023. He's got a criminal case brought by the Manhattan District Attorney and that's scheduled for March of 2024. They say there's a lot of preparation that Trump has to do, as well as his lawyers who are also going to be representing him in those other matters. And part of this category, too, of other trials and other actions, Waltine Nauta's lawyer, Stanley Woodward, says that he's got several federal trials that he's preparing for, and he's not going to be able to be ready to represent Waltine Nauta in a trial in 2023 in this matter. Number 3, Donald Trump and Waltine Nauta argue that under CIPA, the Classified Information Procedures Act, there's just a lot of things that have to take place. A lot of documents get exchanged through different methods than normal discovery, that the CIPA procedures take time, and that simply isn't going to make this case amenable to be tried in 2023. 4, along those lines, Donald Trump and Nauta state that there's lots of discovery in this case, and they're going to need time to go through all of the documents and records. They haven't received all of the classified records yet, since they're still gaining their CIPA certifications to allow them to review classified information. And specifically, they say that, and this is, kind of a big kind of hidden Easter egg in this motion. They say that Jack Smith and the government, as part of their first batch of production, turned over approximately 833,000 pages of documents, which includes hundreds of thousands of emails as well. And they say they simply don't have the time to go through all of that. There's more documents that are coming. There's more classified information that hasn't even been produced yet. They say that's going to take them a long time to go through. And finally, number 5, they say there are significant legal questions of first impression. They say the interplay between the Presidential Records Act with the criminal statutes like violations of the Espionage Act, obstruction of justice. They say they're going to be filing motions to dismiss, that these motions are going to take time to be heard by the court. They say that they believe that the case is going to be dismissed before it gets before a jury, and that the court's going to have to hear all of their legal motions, as well as legal motions regarding the status of documents. They're going to argue that classified records should all be made public as part of this trial, and they're going to be making other legal motions as well regarding the functions of a former president, and they say all of that's going to take time. So that is the 5 main items that they are arguing for in their request for a continuance. Again, I'm just delivering the news right here. And just so if you want to see specifically where it says this in the motion, here, paragraph 16 of the motion, it says, Trump is running for president of the United States and is currently the likely Republican Party nominee. This undertaking requires a tremendous amount of time and energy, and that effort will continue until the election of November 5th, 2024. Mr. Nauta's job requires him to accompany Trump during most campaign trips around the country. This schedule makes trial preparation with both of the defendants challenging. Such preparation requires significant planning and time, making the current schedule untenable and counseling in favor of a continuance. Furthermore, careful consideration will need to be given to the ability to seat an impartial jury under certain circumstances. Proceeding to trial during the pendency of a presidential election cycle, wherein opposing candidates are effectively, if not literally, directly adverse to one another in this action, will create extraordinary challenges in jury selection process and limit defendants' ability to secure a fair and impartial adjudication. Right, so that's Trump's running, falls under that category, and it shouldn't. This shouldn't be heard until the end of the election cycle. On the next one, Trump has all these other trials, and his lawyers are busy, and Waltine Nauta's lawyers are busy. Paragraph 18, finally, previously scheduled trials and other matters for Trump and defense counsel make it nearly impossible to prepare for this trial by December 2023. For example, Trump and Mr. Blanche are preparing for a March 2024 criminal trial in New York Supreme Court. Mr. Keiss and Trump are preparing for a lengthy civil trial in New York court commencing October 2nd, 2023. And Mr. Woodward is Stanley Woodward, who represents Waltine Nauta. Woodward has 3 trials scheduled in the coming months, and then he lists the case. And coincidentally, intentionally, he's representing other January 6th insurrectionists, and he's representing Peter Navarro, one of Donald Trump's aides, in a 1-week trial commencing September 5th, 2023. And then it lists the other trial dates. There's a trial in October 2023, another trial in October of 2023 as well. So that's number 2. Regarding the CIPA, Classified Information Procedure Act, they argue significant efforts will be required to sort through purportedly classified documents once received from the government before any motions on behalf of defendants can ever be filed. At present, based on the government's requested schedule, the trial would begin December 11, 2023, with pretrial motions due in the preceding months. From a practical matter, the volume of discovery and CIPA logistics alone make plain the government's requested schedule is unrealistic. Then going to 4, the amount of discovery and documents, it says, the government anticipates producing discovery in stages due to the sheer volume of documents. The government produced its first production of unclassified discovery on June 21, 2023. The initial production was substantial and voluminous. Therein, the government produced more than 428,300 records, in excess of 833,400 450 pages, consisting of approximately 122,650 emails, including attachments and also CCTV footage. And then it goes on the legal questions. Legal questions are significant and present issues of first impression. The intersection between the Presidential Records Act and various criminal statutes at issue has never been addressed by any court, and in defendant's view will result in a dismissal of the indictment. Additionally, significant matters, including the classification status of the documents and their purported impact on national security interest, the propriety of utilizing secret evidence in a case of this nature, and the potential inability to select an impartial jury during a national presidential election. So those are the 5 main arguments that Donald Trump put out there. So you got Special Counsel Jack Smith arguing that this really isn't a complex case. It's a simple case of Donald Trump stealing records, willful retention of national defense information with the assistance of his co-defendant, Waltine Nauta. There's the Speedy Trial Act. This case could have gone in August, according to Jack Smith. The case can go December. Jack Smith saying is a compromise. We'll be ready to go. We've turned over mostly all of the discovery already. We're just waiting on Trump's lawyers to get their Classified Information Procedure Act clearances. Then they'll have the classified information. Then we're ready to go to trial. And what's so complicated and complex about this? Judge Aileen Cannon set this for trial in 2023. I think Jack Smith may be hedging, though, and saying maybe, if the judge kicks it to January, February, or March or 2024, by saying December, maybe there's a compromise date in 2024. And then on the other hand, you've got Trump and Waltine Nauta saying, whoa, wait a minute. This is a complex case. You produced 833,000 documents. Our lawyers are busy, delay. Kick this thing. Not only kick this thing, we're not even going to give you a date in 2024 or 2025. We're just going to say, take this case off a trial calendar. This case cannot be set during the 2024 election cycle. We can revisit trial date after. By the way, if you go back and look at the MeidasTouch Network videos, it's exactly to a T what we said that Trump was going to ask for, because he is predictable. Jack Smith knew this. So what do we think the next moves are going to be? I think Judge Aileen Cannon, as between Donald Trump and Jack Smith, I'd be pleasantly surprised if Judge Aileen Cannon sides with Jack Smith here. I'd like that to be the case, but I think we know Judge Aileen Cannon. I think what will happen is she'll side with Donald Trump here. I think she'll kick the trial date. I'm not sure if she'll kick it indefinitely, but I think she'll set a status conference date in the future. I'm hoping I'm wrong here, but it's Judge Aileen Cannon. The data reflects that she'll go in a Trump direction, and this gives her an out. And then I think what we'll see happen is what we've previously reported, which is Jack Smith considering bringing additional indictments against Donald Trump for the willful retention of national defense information in other jurisdictions as well, including New Jersey, for the not just the willful retention of national defense information, but the transmittal of that defense information to parties who are not allowed to see it. And I think we may see an indictment in New Jersey, Bedminster, and in other locations as Jack Smith ramps up the pressure there. And don't forget, Special Counsel Jack Smith is also going to indict Donald Trump for, I predict this is going to happen, for his election interference in the 2020 election, for all of the January 6th related crimes. I think that happens probably September, mid-September, October. So we still have a lot of activity going on. Anyway, that's it for now. We'll keep you posted as we get more information. But for now, I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 1.5 million subscribers thanks to your support. Check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch. Wherever you get audio podcasts, subscribe to the MeidasTouch podcast, and have an excellent day.
Hey, Meidas Mighty. Love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram at MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.